Hello, everybody. So, I wanted to share a couple really powerful stories with you with the intention to inspire you. So, a couple weeks ago, I wrote a weekly newsletter about this very concept. And the concept is plugging into source light, plugging into the divine. And when we take time each day and plug into the creator, to divine spirit, mother, father, God, all love, whatever you want to call this energy. And when we intentionally draw down this source light, we are connected, protected, guided, and directed every step of the way. Needless to say, there is so much chaos, turbulence, and frenetic energy out in this 3D Earth world experience. And it's really easy to absorb it, to get caught up in the spin cycles of negativity, the drama, the lower thoughts and feelings and patterns that just don't serve us. This lower vibrational energy leaves us feeling disconnected, anxious, fearful, and simply just off. But when we remember that the simple truth that only love is real, the truth that A Course in Miracles teaches, and nothing unreal exists, and therein lies the peace of God, and that God is love, and that all we have to do is align with this love by plugging into the light of Source. It really is that easy. And so from this place, our mind thoughts based in shadow, which is the unconscious parts of ourselves, that tend to separate us, they are then overridden by divine thoughts, allowing us to show up as our highest and best self and make choices from this frequency of light. Okay, so here's one of my stories. I woke up the other day feeling very anxious and disconnected. And I immediately went into prayer. And I imagined plugging back into source light. I streamed this energy down into my mind, into my body, into my aura, asking that I be connected, protected, and divinely guided and held throughout my entire day and night. I asked for a day of miracles, magic, grace, ease, joy, and flow. I then let go, and I came back to a state of faith and trust that all is well and that I'm not alone. The shift was immediate, and I felt better. I felt peaceful and calm. The anxiety was gone. I felt centered and clear again. Who doesn't want to be in that state consistently? I know we all do. Later that day, I was set to meet a broker to look at new office space. And at the end of our time together, she shared a very full circle story with me. 7 years before that, she had actually seen me at a large audience event here in Denver. And it was shortly after her 16-year-old daughter passed away due to suicide. And I didn't read her, she shared, in the large group. But she left feeling really upset for obvious reasons. She was having a really hard time dealing with the grief. And so I guess she was outside sobbing, and this is after the event, and a woman saw her and went up to console her. And turns out when she shared that, the situation, the woman said, I actually happen to be a close friend of Rebecca's, and maybe if I call her, we could see if she could do a mini reading real quick over the phone. And I vaguely remember this, okay? And so I guess I did this reading, and I told her something about your daughter's there and that coming through the large event would have been too much. She needed more one-on-one personal time. And I said something about horses. She's talking about like a fond memory with horses and that she's in her heaven with her horses. And at that moment, nothing, I guess, registered and resonated with the horses. But as I told her, it doesn't always make sense now. So just tuck it away. And one day, I promise you, it will come to make sense. So a couple of years later, when this woman had the courage to start going through her daughter's personal belongings, she found a horse pin, okay, that she had set aside with a few of her other favorite little mementos. And it was from her childhood, and it immediately triggered a flood of memories coming back about spending time with her daughter at a ranch riding horses, and how much it lit up her daughter's soul. And in that moment, this overwhelming feeling came over her of peace and faith and trust. So it turned her doubt into hope and back into a place of faith, and it allowed more healing to come in for her. She said that was a turning point for her in her grief process. And she, from that day forward, could feel her daughter's presence directly with her. So, as fate would have it, the universe synchronistically brought our paths back together. And here she was, full circle, helping me to find new office space. Gets crazier. Here's part 2 of the story. So an hour later, I stopped at Whole Foods on my way home. It was a Friday, and I had just sent out my weekly newsletter on this very subject of plugging into the divine. I then run into another client whose son died in a tragic accident, and she was speechless. You could tell I caught her off guard, and she said that just that morning, she read my newsletter, and it resonated so deeply that she immediately went into the practice, and it instantly worked for her. So she felt so peaceful and connected after feeling very disconnected and off. And so she was in this awe of this simple yet very powerful truth that that's all it takes. So she then reached out to her girlfriend, and she tried it, and I guess it really resonated for her. And they were joking about, like, how did we not think of this? And this client of mine said, well, because we're not Rebecca. Not true. We can all access this, but that was her comment. But here I was, hours later, showing up in front of her at the grocery store, serving as a messenger and visual proof that when we take the time to pause and pray and connect, miracles always follow. That is what I call a God wink. So how do we do this? Okay, it really is this simple act of prayer and meditation. Just setting the intention to plug into and draw upon the light of source makes it so, as energy follows intention. Prayer is simply when we talk to the divine, talk to spirit. And meditation is when we make space within to listen and to receive. The way prayer works is that it simply alters the frequency of your vessel to allow the light of God to come in. Okay, it's all about how we raise our vibrational frequency to connect into and match the frequency of miracle consciousness. So perhaps start your day by saying something to the effect of, I invite you in, divine spirit, and my team in spirit. And I ask that I am connected, protected, guided, and directed all throughout my day and night. I ask that you raise my vibrational frequency to the degree that is perfect and right for me at this moment, allowing me to receive the miracles, magic, grace, ease, joy, love, and flow that you so generously provide. And thank you for a day of heaven on earth. And so it is. And then you could follow it up by visualizing in a meditation, just simply a cord or a beam of light moving from the top of our head, the crown chakra, up and into, plugging into a golden sun above you. And then allow that golden sun that is the light of the Creator to wash over you, pour down that cord, that beam of light, this endless flow of divinity, endless love and light, unconditional love and light. And it starts to activate that innate divine spark of God that already exists within you. And so, my friends, I share this with you to inspire you, to bring you hope, and to help shift you back into a state of belief, trust, and faith. And that a reminder, we are never alone. There is a divine presence always with us if we choose to acknowledge it, if we choose to tap into it and to receive the grace and the blessings that we need as we move through these very sometimes challenging and definitely changing times. As always, I'm wishing you brightest blessings and all love.